market with Stan Chamu standing by at IG in Melbourne. Stan, thanks so much for your time. In terms of the local market today, SPI's up just a little. Are we going to take that strong lead from Wall Street and turn it into gains here at home?
Yeah, absolutely. It certainly does seem that way at the moment. We're pointing to about a 0.3% gain at the open, to around that 51.60 mark. Of course, we closed at 51.47 yesterday, and it really did seem like markets had run out of steam midway through the session, but we just powered into the close and managed to actually get a bit of a good kicker for today. Generally, when you close right at the highs, it really sets you up well for the next day. Of course, we had a mixed bag of leads to kick off the week, but it certainly seems markets are quite happy to continue trending higher, with investors choosing the path of least resistance, which generally seems to be much higher at the moment. And it will be one of those situations where we see a pretty good recovery in the resource space. Of course, they were the laggards yesterday, particularly with China data weighing on commodities, but we did see commodities erase those losses overnight, and we are pointing to a pretty good open for some of the iron ore names. We've got BHP as ADR pointing to a 0.6% gain, back about $36 to about that 36.02 mark. So that should be a pretty good session for the resource names. But of course, focus will be on these defensive names, which continue to charge to record highs. Of course, it's all about these record highs, with CBA trading at $70 yesterday. We've got the likes of Woolworths, Clo, and Coca-Cola also trading at record highs. And it really does seem like some of these yield plays are starting to lose some of their shine, just because the higher the price as well, the yield starts to tick a bit lower. So at some point you'll find investors will start thinking, oh, we might as well wait for the dips and accumulate these stocks, as opposed to chasing them with fresh entries at these sort of levels. Of course, they seem very elevated at the moment, so if they give up their stronghold on these levels, then it would really weigh on the market. But for now, I mean, it certainly will be one of the more the positives for the market. We do have NAB trading at a 5-year high yesterday, and there are there is some speculation that they might be looking to shut down their UK advice unit. That should probably gain a bit of traction in today's session. Another stock to look out for will be CSR. Of course, yesterday they came out with that profit warning, along with news of a restructure, and the initial reaction was quite negative, but the stock managed to recover basically earlier in the session, just as investors felt that the restructure and how much it will add to their EBIT will be enough to see the stock through FY 13 and 14. So that should continue to gain traction, but analysts haven't quite responded as positively to the news. They still feel that there's a long way to go for the stock, for them to get excited about it, and particularly with some of these cost savings might come through with a write down for that glass unit as well. So we'll have to continue and wait and see how this story develops over the coming sessions.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the US dollar, because it continues to gather strength, which is really weighing on commodities at the moment. How much further can it run?
Yeah, well, surprisingly, we actually did see it give up its bid tone overnight. Of course, it's been the story of the past couple of weeks or so, with the US dollar rallying, even in the face of Fed Chairman Ben Bernanke and Vice Chair Janet Yellen pledging their commitment to quantitative easing. But of course, we cannot ignore that US data is showing strong signs of improvement, particularly in the labor market. This will continue to see analysts sort of reprice their expectations for QE, despite the comments that we're getting from the Fed. So it's at the moment, it certainly seems risk managed to recover across the board against the US dollar. Of course, we had a sharp reversal in the Aussie. We managed to close up near that 1028 mark, after having dropped all the way to 102 yesterday in early in the Asian session. The euro dollar is also back above that 130 level, so it certainly seems it's lost some of its footing today. But we'll have to really continue to monitor what this US data is telling us, especially in an environment where it looks like that there are a lot of elements that might weigh on risk. I mean, you find the euro is rallying in the face of an Italian downgrade. We've got the Italian parliament kicking off at the end of the week. And we also have speculation that Cyprus might be in need of a bailout of some sort. So it really does seem like there's more negatives than positives for the risk currencies at the moment. But I suppose we'll have to monitor the US dollar and what it means for risk. We continue to see it rallying against the yen, but that's hardly a surprise considering some of the efforts we're seeing from Japan's officials in curbing the yen's strength. So it will be a situation whereby the US dollar will continue to be used as an investment tool until we start seeing that US data start to sort of stutter or wane. But for now, it certainly seems like we're more likely to see analysts or traders looking to sell the risk currencies into strength as opposed to buying them into weakness. We'll have to look at how, for example, for the Aussie dollar today, how the SNAB business confidence data goes. Of course, we don't really get massive bearing on the Aussie dollar from that, but in light of the current situation where investors are just looking for any piece of data to react to, this is very limited, which data is very limited so far this week, then we might see a reaction to some of the less meaningful pieces of data. From a dollar-yen perspective, today we've got the monetary policy meeting minutes. They might carry a little bit of weight. Of course, we heard comments from the governor nominee Kuroda yesterday, and they didn't really do much for the dollar-yen, so it's still just relatively sidelined around that elevated level, around that 96.26 mark. So we'll have to really wait and see what these monetary policy meeting minutes have in store. But with Governor Shirakawa being an outgoing governor now, it certainly seems like there won't be too much in them, and we probably might want to wait for the April 3rd to 4th BOJ meeting for a bit more direction.
Absolutely. Stan Chamu from IG, thanks so much for your time. Very comprehensive wrap.
Cheers, yeah.
Okay, time now to move to the political front, and Julia Gillard has regained her lead